Blood vessels are divided into arteries, veins, and arteriovenous connection, which are the connection between the arteries and the vein. That's to say, it is the blood capillaries. Okay. The general structure of blood vessel, it is formed of three layers from inner to outer. Inner near to the blood and outer to the outside. The inner layer is the intima, the middle one is media, and the outer one is known as adventitia. Again, this is the intima, and this is the media, and this is adventitia. Okay, this is the first layer, which is tunica intima. Tunica intima is the innermost layer. It is in direct contact with blood, so it has a smooth surface to provide blood with a smooth surface to prevent its clotting and for easy passage of blood. It is formed of endothelium, and this is the layer that will provide the smooth surface. Then underlying it, if you remember, endothelium is the simple squamous epithelium. Then below it we have a layer of connective tissue, so it will be known as subendothelium connective tissue. Then we will have a condensation of elastic fiber known as internal elastic lamina. Okay, this layer is not a must. It may be present or absent. It only present in medium-sized muscular arteries, and we have another layer like this, but at the end of the media, and this will be known as external elastic lamina, and it will be present or absent also in some vessels. That is why this one is known as internal. It is near to the blood, and the other one will be known as external. The second layer is the media. It is the middle one. It regulates blood flow. Why? Because it consists mainly of smooth muscle fiber and they are circularly arranged. We have also elastic fibers and plus or minus external elastic lamina, like the internal elastic lamina at the end of the intima. We may have another one in the end of the media known as external elastic lamina. The last layer or the outermost layer is Tunica Adventitia, and it is just a connective tissue, loose connective tissue. That is to say, it is formed of collagen, elastic, and some connective tissue cells. Also, it contains nerve, lymphatic, and blood vessels that supply this vessel with nutrition, known as vasa vasorum. Vasa vasorum is the blood vessel of the blood vessel. They are small arteries present in the adventitia of some vessels, especially in the wall of veins and in the wall of large vessel to nourish the outer parts. Any blood vessel receives nutrition from blood passing in its lumen, but if this vessel is very large, like large arteries, the outer part need another source of nutrition, so it will have vasa vasorum. Also, in case of veins, the type of blood inside this vessel is deoxygenated, so it needs another source of blood, which is also vasa vasorum. What is the function of Tunica Adventitia? All this Tunica Adventitia, which is a connective tissue, is to connect the blood vessel to the surrounding tissue to prevent over-distension of blood vessel. General structure. Then we will start with arteries. Arteries are classified according to their size into large elastic arteries. These are the first arteries that arise from the heart, like aorta. And then we have medium-sized arteries, which are the muscular arteries that deliver blood to organs. So they are known as medium-sized or muscular or even organs arteries. Then we have a smaller size, which are arterioles. They regulate blood flow that will reach to capillaries. Similarly, veins are classified into venules, the smaller one. Then we have medium-sized veins that accompany the medium-sized artery. Then we have large veins like inferior vena cava and superior vena cava that they will drain into the heart. Now you will have in detail the structure of large elastic arteries, and an example of it is the aorta. Okay, it is known as large elastic artery because it contains large amount of elastic fiber in the media. As a blood vessel, and as an artery, it will have a thick wall and wide lumen. So this is a cross section in the wall of aorta. It has wide lumen and it has thick wall, and its wall is rich in elastic fibers. The the main part of the layer of the artery is the tunica media. It represents the thickest layer. It's about 70%, and it is, if you remember, this artery is known as elastic arteries. Why? Because it contains mainly elastic membranes, about 70 layers of elastic membranes, alternating with smooth muscle fiber and some collagen fiber. Then we have what about Tunica Intima? It's only about 10%, and it is a rule endothelium. Then we have underlying connective tissue, and then we have internal elastic lamina. Actually, it is present, but you cannot differentiate it from the elastic membrane in the media. That's why I start by description of the media to know about the presence of this elastic membrane. By this way, we cannot differentiate the internal elastic lamina from those of the media. Okay? Tunica Adventitia, just a connective tissue, about 20%. It is the outer layer, it is the thin coat, contain collagen, elastic, and vasa vasorum, and some lymphatics and the nerve, as we have described in the. By this, we have finished the large elastic artery, and now you will have the description of medium size, but I will have it in the form of a comparison with medium-sized vein. This is a section in the medium-sized artery, and this is another one in the medium-sized vein. This is the Tunica Media and Adventitia. The wall as a whole is thicker here than the wall of the vein, right? Because here we have a higher pressure than inside the vein. The Tunica is thick, folded, yes, contain elastic fiber and has clear internal elastic lamina. Media is thick, formed of smooth muscle fiber and contain also elastic fiber and may have external elastic lamina. Adventitia is thin and contain also elastic fiber. What about the vein? The vein has thin Tunica, thin media, and very thick adventitia. So artery have very thick media, vein has very thick adventitia. The Tunica is thin, not folded, as we have no internal elastic lamina, and also all vein is poor in elastic fiber. So Tunica is poor in elastic fiber. Media is thin, smooth muscle, and also poor in elastic, and no external elastic lamina. The main layer is the adventitia. It is thick and it is formed mainly of collagen fiber. This is the comparison between the medium-sized artery and medium-sized vein. If we have a look on the artery and the vein, the artery has thick wall and narrow lumen, while the vein has thin wall and wide lumen. Lumen of artery may never contain blood after this, while that of veins may contain blood. The lumen of the artery is rounded and doesn't collapse due to presence of internal elastic lamina, while that of vein usually collapses after this. Arteries has no valve, while veins have valve. This valve, if disturbed, the patient will have what is known as varicose veins. This is the histological comparison between the three layers that I have said. And this is the practical part. This is the medium-sized artery, and this is the accompanying medium-sized vein. Thick wall, thinner wall. Folded Tunica, unfolded Tunica. Clear internal elastic lamina, no internal elastic lamina. Thick media, thick adventitia. This is a cut section in the medium-sized artery with its thick wall, folded lumen, with accompanying medium-sized vein. This is a diagram of the medium-sized artery, and this is the medium-sized vein. I have just described these structures in details. What about large veins? As I have said, veins are classified into small veins known as venules. Okay, they are connected with capillaries, venous side of capillaries. Then the larger one is known as medium-sized vein, and we have taken it in the form of comparison with medium-sized artery. Then we have large veins, for example, inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. They have a character in their Tunica Adventitia. Tunica Adventitia is known as connective tissue containing collagen fibers, but in case of large veins, they contain longitudinal bundle of smooth muscle fiber because these veins are affected by respiration. So to facilitate elongation and shortening with respiration, they have smooth muscle, longitudinal bundles of smooth muscle in Tunica Adventitia. Thank you.